The British Grand Prix at Silverstone, where history, passion and drama collide, this legendary circuit, nestled in the heart of England, has witnessed some of the most iconic moments in Formula One. Every year, fans from across the globe flock to Silverstone, their hearts pounding with anticipation, their flags waving in the wind, ready to witness another chapter in racing history. On July 7th, 2025, the weather gods unleashed their fury, turning the circuit into a treacherous battleground. Sheets of rain hammered the tarmac, creating rivers across the racing line and reducing visibility to a blur. The drivers faced a relentless challenge, forced to summon every ounce of skill, courage and concentration just to keep their cars on track. The rain was relentless, the stakes sky high. Every lap became a white-knuckle gamble, with drivers wrestling their machines through puddles and spray. Pit stops, already a test of precision, became even more critical. One wrong tyre choice or a split-second delay could make or break a race. Teams scrambled to adapt, strategists recalculating with every passing minute. Championship favourites faltered, their cars sliding off the circuit or spinning helplessly in the wet. Meanwhile, underdogs seized their moment, carving through the chaos to challenge for positions no one expected. The crowd, undeterred by the downpour, roared from beneath a sea of umbrellas, their energy electrifying the atmosphere and pushing the drivers to their limits. This was more than a race. It was a test of nerve, strategy, and raw talent. Every decision mattered, from the pit wall to the cockpit. Drivers fought wheel to wheel, their visors streaked with rain, their focus unbreakable. Team strategists watched anxiously, eyes glued to the monitors, searching for any advantage in the ever-changing conditions. The lead changed hands again and again as the rain intensified and then eased, keeping everyone guessing until the very last lap. Overtakes on the slippery corners were daring and dramatic, with the leaderboard in constant flux. No one could predict who would emerge victorious from the storm. In the end, Silverstone stripped away the certainties, leaving only the courage of the drivers and the brilliance of their teams. Exhausted, soaked to the bone, the competitors climbed from their cars, some celebrating, others left to wonder what might have been. The pit lane was a mix of jubilation and heartbreak, the track itself now quiet, glistening under the stormy sky. A home hero rose above the chaos, crossing the finish line to the deafening cheers of the British crowd. For a veteran, it was a long-awaited taste of glory, a moment that will be remembered for years to come. The championship battle, once predictable, was now thrown wide open, with new contenders emerging from the shadows. This was Silverstone at its most dramatic, unpredictable, unforgiving, and utterly unforgettable. The rain, the roars, and the rise of a British hero combined to create a race that will echo through the annals of Formula One history. For those who witnessed it, this was a day when legends were made. For Lando Norris, this was the dream, winning the British Grand Prix in the rain before a sea of Union Jacks. The echoes of legends past seemed to fill the air, and every drop of rain only heightened the drama. Silverstone, the heart of British motorsport, had seen many heroes, but today it belonged to Lando. The anticipation was electric, the pressure immense, and the hopes of a nation rested on his shoulders. He drove with poise and precision, mastering the chaos while others faltered. The rain-soaked track was treacherous, catching out even the most experienced drivers, but Lando seemed to dance with the elements. Every lap he found grip where others slid, threading his McLaren through the spray with nerves of steel and a racer's instinct. The pressure was immense, but Lando channeled it into a flawless performance. The McLaren pit wall watched anxiously, every decision critical, every second counting. Lando's focus never wavered, his hands steady on the wheel, his mind clear despite the storm raging around him. The crowd's eruption as he crossed the line was pure euphoria, a nation's hopes fulfilled. Generations of fans, young and old, leapt to their feet, their cheers echoing across the sodden grandstands. For many, it was a moment they'd waited years to witness, a British driver conquering Silverstone in the most dramatic fashion. This win wasn't just about points, it was a seismic shift in the championship fight, closing the gap to just 8. The McLaren garage erupted in celebration, knowing this victory had changed the narrative of the season. Suddenly, the title fight was wide open and Lando was right in the thick of it. Norris and McLaren proved they could conquer the toughest conditions and the fiercest rivals. In the face of adversity, they rose to the challenge, showing resilience, teamwork, and raw speed. Every overtake, every defensive move was a statement. They were here to win, no matter the odds. The psychological blow to his competitors was clear. Lando had arrived as a true title contender. Rivals watched in disbelief, realizing that the young Brit was no longer just a rising star, but a genuine threat for the crown. The paddock buzzed with talk of a new era, and Lando was at its center. On the podium, exhaustion and joy mingled on his face. He'd conquered Silverstone and the rain. The weight of the moment was clear. This was more than a race win. It was a personal triumph, a memory that would last a lifetime. The cheers of the crowd washed over him, a hero's welcome for a job brilliantly done. This was a victory for every fan braving the storm, and for a driver who turned pressure into legend. The shared joy between Lando and the crowd was palpable, a testament to the power of sport to unite and inspire even in the harshest conditions. Lando Norris, the boy from Bristol, is now the king of Silverstone, and the championship is alive. With this victory, he's etched his name into British racing history, igniting dreams for a new generation and proving that sometimes fairy tales do come true on home soil. While McLaren celebrated, Oscar Piastri was left with heartbreak. The young Australian led much of the race, mastering the wet with skill beyond his years. But a controversial 10-second penalty shattered his hopes, ending his charge for victory. He'd done everything right, only to see it unravel from the steward's room. The disappointment was raw, his performance world-class, but the ultimate prize slipped away. For McLaren, it was bittersweet, a home win, but a lost 1-2. Piastri's message was clear: he's a future champion, denied only by fate this time. His time will come, but at Silverstone he watched his teammate take the glory he nearly claimed. Sometimes Formula One's best stories belong not to the champions, but to its journeymen. Those drivers who spend years in the sport, fighting for every point, every finish, and every small victory. These are the racers who become legends not for their titles, but for their resilience and passion. After an astonishing 239 Grand Prix starts, Nico Hülkenberg finally stood on the podium at Silverstone, a moment that many thought might never come. For over a decade he had chased this dream, enduring heartbreak and near misses, but never losing hope. Starting all the way back in 19th position, Hülkenberg faced a daunting challenge. But as the rain poured down and chaos unfolded on the track, he carved his way through the field with a blend of experience, courage, and sheer determination. Every lap, he seized opportunities that others missed, making bold overtakes and keeping his car on the limit. Calm and decisive under pressure, he made the right calls when others faltered, choosing the perfect moment to pit, managing his tires, and reading the ever-changing conditions with the instincts of a true veteran. This wasn't a fluke or a lucky break. It was the culmination of years of perseverance, relentless hard work, and the kind of skill that only comes from countless battles on the world's toughest circuits. Hülkenberg had earned every bit of this moment. The paddock and fans erupted in celebration. Everyone in the sport understood just how much this meant, not just to Hülkenberg, but to anyone who has ever chased a dream against the odds. Hülkenberg's journey was filled with a heartbreak. So many times he came close only to see the podium slip away. But he never gave up, always returning with renewed determination, always believing that his day would come. His third-place finish wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a victory for persistence, a moment that transcended team loyalties and united fans everywhere in celebration of the underdog. For his team, it was a massive boost, a reminder that in Formula One, underdog stories can still come true, and that hard work and belief can lead to unforgettable moments. After years of waiting, the Hulk finally had his podium. In that moment, he became more than just a driver. He became a symbol of hope, and the sport found itself a new hero to celebrate. For Red Bull Racing, Silverstone 2025 was a nightmare. A low downforce setup, perfect for dry, left them helpless in the wet. Max Verstappen, usually untouchable, struggled just to stay in the points. Tyre degradation and lack of grip made him a shadow of his usual self. Yuki Tsunoda fared even worse, finishing last among the classified runners. For a team used to dominance, it was a humbling reality check. Their championship lead shrank, and questions about adaptability loomed large. Red Bull must regroup. Silverstone proved that in F1 complacency is fatal. The rain exposed their weakness, and the title fight is suddenly wide open. Lewis Hamilton's first home race in Ferrari Red was meant to be triumphant. Instead, he finished fourth, his 14th race without a podium, a personal record he never wanted. The car's unpredictable balance in the wet left him fighting for control, unable to challenge for the top three. His Silverstone podium streak ended and frustration was clear. Ferrari's raw pace is there, but consistency and execution are missing. Hamilton's focus now shifts to working with his engineers to unlock the car's potential. The determination remains. This setback only fuels his drive to return to the front. Silverstone was a tough lesson, but Hamilton and Ferrari are far from done. Amid the chaos, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll delivered standout drives. Gasly's sixth place was a triumph for Alpine, achieved through flawless risk management and consistency. He kept it clean while others faltered, maximizing every opportunity in the wet. Stroll, renowned for his wet-weather skill, made a bold tyre call that vaulted him up the order. His attacking drive and strategic bravery paid off with vital points for Aston Martin. Both drivers proved that experience and composure can outshine raw speed in tough conditions. On a day of upsets, Gasly and Stroll capitalized, bringing home results that mattered. Their performances were a reminder. In F1, cool heads often prevail when chaos reigns. For the rookie class of 2025, Silverstone was a harsh teacher. Torrential rain and high speeds exposed the gap between raw talent and experience. Spins, crashes and DNFs piled up as the newcomers struggled to adapt. Only Ollie Behrman kept his cool. Finishing the race with maturity beyond his years, his composed drive earned respect and showed he can handle pressure. For the rest, it was a character-building day, painful but invaluable for their growth. The lessons learned in these conditions can't be replicated in testing. Silverstone's storm will make them stronger, more complete drivers for the future. To celebrate F1's 75th anniversary, Silverstone's podium finishers received full-size Lego trophies. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri and Nico Hülkenberg hoisted brick-built masterpieces, each with over 2,700 pieces and hidden Lego F1 cars inside. Designed by Lego's Samuel Liltorp Johnson, the trophies blended tradition with playful creativity. Built to withstand podium celebrations, they were revealed just before the race, adding excitement to the event. The initiative was a hit, engaging fans and creating a viral moment for the sport. These trophies perfectly captured the spirit of the weekend, innovative, memorable and fun. For the drivers, it was a unique piece of history to mark an unforgettable British Grand Prix.